do and got a call. I'm up in the mountains of Toccoa, Georgia. I'm actually...
You going to do what you said you...
And then a phone call came.
And what did you say you was going to do?
I was going to go look at the vans.
Oh, totally forgot about that.
And then what happened was I ended up 77 miles away in the mountains.
Dang.
I'm in Toccoa, Georgia.
And I've been moving since I walked in the door, came to the door, was patients at the front door. I had to clock in early. It's just been a day.
I'm telling you. So now I'm headed out the mountains and headed back down to go and look at the vans and see what I can come up with for May.
Okay.
But I was just checking in because I know you go through withdrawals and shit because you ain't heard nothing.
You know it, honey. I started at 10:35. I was wondering, it started at 10:35, but I ain't said that because I'm busy, so I couldn't,
You're like, what the hell's going on? Where is Billy Bob?
Right. Okay, so call me while you're over there. I want to see,
I will.
Send me a picture.
I might just
call me when you get there.
If I call you on your cell phone, that means go to video.
Okay. All right. So let me put my phone right here. Okay.
All right.
All right. Love you. Bye. Gotta go.
All right. Let's pull over because we gotta think. First we want to do is put on my CNI dogs. Go to Google Boogle. You pay Google enough money, you can be the first one on the list. Okay, so we want to go to. Oh yeah, where's that song? I need rental, not services. That's an address.
Welcome to Adaptive Vans. For sales, press 1. For parts and service, press 2. For vehicle pickup and drop-off information, press 6. For the directory, press 0. The sales department is currently unavailable. Leave us a voicemail after the tone. Please include your contact information and reason for
that. Damn. Let's try Conyers.
Thank you for calling R&R Mobility Van Lift Sales and Service. To better assist you, press 2 for a mobility sales consultant. Press 3 for service department. Press 4.
Please hold a moment.
Thank you for calling R&R Mobility. This is Lily. How can I help you?
Hello, Lily. My name's Douglas, and I was inquiring about a mobility van. I had a question.
Okay, what kind of question?
Are the mobility vans available to rent?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm trying to take my mother to a wedding, and I was trying to look ahead to pick one up because she's in a wheelchair, and she doesn't want to sit in the back of the chair of the car. She wants to see if I can get a mobility van so we can wheel her up into the van. Is it possible I can come by today and take a look, see?
I wish I could tell you yes. But all of my vans are out today.
Mm-hmm.
I may have availability for you to come by tomorrow for you to kind of look. Well, you can come by. I can show you a general idea of what the vans would do.
Okay.
They're all side entry. So essentially, the passenger side door,
mm-hmm.
a ramp comes out, and you take the captain's chairs out of what would be like a regular minivan.
Right.
So you can either set the chair there, or you can take the passenger seat out and have her sit next to you while you're driving.
Gotcha. And
from her.
Just the top of your head, you guys got that Chrysler van as a mobility vehicle?
We have Chryslers and Toyotas in our rental fleet.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and head on over to take a look. See, I'm a little bit far away. I'm headed home in Loganville, but I'm gonna bypass my house and go straight to you. Will that be okay?
Yeah, we have one in the showroom that I can kind of show you the idea of how it works, because generally they're all the same. So I just don't have any rental vans physically here on the lot today.
I totally get it. What I need from you is what's the address so I can GPS?
It is 2130
2130
Sigmund Road.
Sigmund Road. Gotcha.
Northwest.
Gotcha.
It's northwest.
My name's Douglas, and I'm way up here in Toccoa for reasons unknown, but I should show up about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, I got 103 miles, but I'm headed your way. And your name again?
Lily.
All right, Lily. Looking forward to see you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
We're going to see Lily. Lily.
Just to fact correct, please, a few things. Mr. Duffy didn't come from a state job. Mr. Duffy came from Deputy Chief of Staff at DOD before he went to OMB. Big difference there. Manager Garcia said he failed to appear. Well, the House committee would not allow agency counsel to appear with Mr. Duffy or Mr. Blair. They would not let agency counsel appear with either of them. Office of Legal Counsel determined, of course, that the exclusion of agency counsel from House proceedings is unconstitutional. It's a pretty basic right. So what did they do? They took no action on the subpoenas. But now they want you to take action on them. The managers have been telling you all day, the House managers all day, White House is trying to hide from American people what witnesses had to say. They've been saying we want to bury evidence, we want to hide evidence. That hypocrisy is astounding. They've been saying let's not forget why we are here. Well, we're here tonight because they threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window in the House proceedings. That's why we're here, because they started in the secret bunker hearings where the president and his counsel weren't even allowed to participate when they're trying to impeach him. Intel and Judiciary Committees was a one-sided circus. Ranking Member Nunes asked to call witnesses. He explained why in detail. It was denied by Manager Schiff. Ranking Member Collins asked to call witnesses. Denied by Manager Nadler. And that's what they call fairness. That's not how our American justice system works, and it's certainly not how our impeachment process is designed by our Constitution. The House took no action on the subpoenas issued to Mr. Duffy and Mr. Blair, because they didn't want a court to tell them that they were trampling on their constitutional rights. So now they want this chamber to do it for them. Senators, members of the Senate, when the House managers gave you their presentation, when they submitted their brief, they repeatedly referenced Hunter Biden and Burisma. They spoke to you for over 21 hours, and they referenced Biden or Burisma over 400 times. And when they gave these presentations, they said there was nothing to see. It was a sham. This is fiction. In their trial memorandum, the House managers described this as baseless. Now, why did they say that? Why did they invoke Biden or Burisma over 400 times? The reason they needed to do that is because they are here saying that the president must be impeached and removed from office for raising a concern. And that's why we have to talk about this today. They say sham, they say baseless, because they say this because if it's okay for someone to say, hey, you know what? Maybe there's something here worth raising, then their case crumbles. Because they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there is no basis to raise this concern. But that's not what public records show. Here are just a few of the public sources that flagged questions surrounding this very same issue. The United Kingdom Serious Fraud Office, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State George Kent, Hunter Biden's former business associate, an ABC White House reporter, Good Morning America, ABC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, Ukrainian law enforcement, and the Obama State Department itself. They all raised this issue. We would prefer not to be talking about this. We would prefer not to be discussing this. But the House managers have placed this squarely at issue, so we must address it.
Invasion issues on his $8.3 million income. They will begin work this week as senior advisors to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Then they will transition to senior IRS roles. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for being here this morning.
Good morning, Maria. Always good to see you.
Yes, so tell us why you're giving these two whistleblowers jobs. Tell me why it's important to ensure that they are treated fairly.
Look, Maria, the culture of being able to come forward when you see wrongdoing is a central part of our democracy. I saw these two fellows before the president's address to Congress in Speaker Johnson's office. They came over to me and said, you know, sir, we're still being harassed. And I had been in touch with Senator Grassley about what was happening to them, but seeing them in person really brought it home for me. So I went and decided I would bring them into Treasury, give them a year to investigate the wrongdoing that's going on at the IRS, and then they will go back in. Mr. Shapley will serve as the senior deputy for investigation and enforcement. So we'll have them in Treasury. We'll learn what's been going on at the IRS, what's been wrong, how could this Hunter Biden nonsense have happened, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone again, whether they're Republicans, Democrats, or independents.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible to me how political everything got under the Biden administration, particularly as it related to the investigations around his sons, as the Oversight Committee has called, money laundering.
You know, Maria, that we hear these screams of privacy as the Doge people are just trying to redo the IRS systems. They don't have access to what's called PII, which is personal data, but several bad actors at the IRS have used personal data. They've leaked it for select folks, and then it's really a travesty what happened here, as these two gentlemen were the dedicated civil servants trying to do their jobs, and they were blocked from doing that. We're going to make sure that never happens again, no matter whether you're related to the president, no matter how powerful you are.
Yes.
The IRS is going to behave fairly, and we will make sure that happens. And these two gentlemen are going to form the basis for our investigation.
Mr. Secretary, I want to move on to the president's America First investment policy as it relates to China, and get your take on what you're going to do about it, because this America First investment policy, which was issued in February, states that economic security is national security. It emphasizes that the U.S. should not allow China to take over our critical infrastructure, adding, quote, PRC-affiliated investors are targeting the crown jewels of the United States technology, food supplies, farmland, minerals, natural resources, ports, and shipping terminals. Now, the memo goes on to say that the PRC is increasingly exploiting the United States Capitol to develop and modernize its military, intelligence, and other security apparatuses, which pose a significant risk to the United States homeland and armed forces of the United States around the world. We know that the memo highlights the need to stop investment in Chinese companies through pension funds, private equity, university endowments, and more. Mr. Secretary, I want to know what you're doing about this, and whether or not this is a calling card for the Treasury to make a move on some of those Chinese stocks to trade on our exchanges that don't even follow the same auditing rules as every other public company. Here's what the memo says. With respect to Section 2 of this memorandum, the Secretary of the Treasury shall engage as appropriate with the SEC and the Public Accounting Oversight Board. The bottom line is, what are you doing about the bad behavior of Communist China? And would you go to the extent of potentially taking these Chinese companies off of U.S. exchanges?
Well, Maria, all options are available. And let me tell you a couple of things. So here at Treasury, we have something called CFIUS. That's for inbound investment. That is a long-standing organization that scrutinizes foreign investors who want to make substantial investments into critical U.S. industries. And we have plenty of good actors. The United States welcomes foreign capital from abroad, especially from our allies, but we need to screen for bad actors. What we are doing now is we are also doing outbound screening led by the several...
I'll say happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes. How does it feel to be 18?
I'm still getting used to it.
You're still getting used to it? How would you describe your relationship with your mother?
It's not like every mom and daughter relationship. It's too toxic.
How long has the relationship been like this?
Since I was like 14.
Since you were like 14. What happened at 14?
I had run away. I took care of myself for a while. I had to really defend for myself, feed myself, figure out how I'm going to stay alive in the streets, because I was really in the streets. Mm-hmm. And she didn't even call me one time. She boyfriend, and like I said, she was more focused on him, so I just left and
did she come and find you?
No.
Did she call you?
No.
Did she know where you were?
No, I just knew I was in LA.
How long were you living on the streets?
Almost a year.
A year?
Yeah, almost.
So from 14 to 15?
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. I'm so sorry. So you were sent away. So when you got back into her home at 15, you then were sent away again?
Yeah.
Where were you sent away to?
To a program.
And that was to help you to get on track with school and behavior or something like that?
Maybe my behavior.
Maybe behavior. And then when you got released, where'd you go?
I went with my mom.
My producer told me that you two got into a physical altercation in 2021.
Yeah.
What happened?
I was in trouble at school or whatever, and we was arguing, and she just hit me from when I turned around.
What do you mean hit you?
I turned around, she hit me, and I just knew we was fighting on the floor. So,
As you were growing up, it was just you and your mom?
pretty much. My dad, he didn't really want to claim me yet. He thought I was his child, yeah.
Got it. Does your mom say hurtful things to you?
Yeah, she says a lot of hurtful things.
Like what?
Mainly dummy. That's her favorite thing to say, is that dummy. You're going to be a dummy in life. This. But then she'd be like, oh, I want you to finish school. I got you. This. And then when she says she got me, it's like, how do you have me? But you're saying I'm going to be this dummy and I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that.
Got it. Well, I think it's time to hear your mom's side of the story. So everyone, please welcome Lauren to the show. So I gotta ask you, how do you feel about what you just heard?
Liberty is a liar. Okay? She paints this picture. She wants this hard life so bad. Like, she see the people on the movies or in the streets and she want to be just like them. You feel me? So she want everybody to think that she has a really bad mom. Yes, I'm stern. I want to be on you. I want you to have a successful future. I don't want her to be 30 years old with an EBT card and 4 kids. So I'm going to be on you.
Well, when your mom said you think that you want this hard life, you immediately started crying. What made you?
It's not true. I didn't want to be the way I want to be. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be the way I want to be or be how I am. I didn't want that for me. I didn't. I try every day. I try to be a better person, do better. That's why I'm trying to. Finish school now and all that.
When did you notice a strain in your relationship with Liberty?
About 11 years old. Liberty always been disrespectful. Liberty
Disrespectful brat.
does not like authority figures telling her anything. She feels like she's grown, and she's been grown for a long time now.
But I'm grown because I took care of myself.
A year on the street.
It don't matter how long it was. I took care of myself. I had to defend myself.
Because
You
you
didn't
wanted
want
to. You wanted to.
I wanted to, but why would I leave? Why do you think I leave? And then I now remember that one time you asked me if I liked your boyfriend.
Like him now.
Liked him, like I wanted to be with him.
Girl, never.
Never?
Never.
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 Okay.
Now she making things up, okay? Like, she playing the whole game.
Liberty, how were you taking care of yourself when you were on the street?
I used to do things for money.
Okay, you don't have to go any further. You don't have to go any further. Mom, did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the police call me, she'll run away, be gone, and I'll get a phone calls from the police department saying they picked her up in questionable situations.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
Hurt. A lot of times I had to go and pick her up, stop whatever I'm doing. Might drive a whole nother kid, so she's looking up to watching her bigger sister do the things that she's doing and lashing out and acting out and being very defiant and want to run her own program. And now she's on the streets and her lifestyle because somebody put in her head that this is the way to go, and it's not the way to go, you know? So again, Liberty chose a lifestyle that I'm not okay with.
Before the street thing, half the people you had me around took advantage of. Let's talk about that. Half of the people.
What's half?
Half of the people, your so-called friends.
My so-called friends?
Yes, your so-called friends.
Took advantage of you.
Do you know this?
No.
Liberty, will you do me a big favor and will you take 5 minutes? I want you to go back to your green room, okay? Take a moment, catch your breath, okay? You know my heart is breaking, right? And why do you think my heart is breaking?
Because of things you're here. I've been going through a lot with my daughter. A lot. And I never stopped. It's a continual going. You understand what I'm saying? And she does things and I have to react. So I try to react as a parent and not be so much hard on her, but I have to be. I have to be.
Yeah. You said I gotta be tough on her. I gotta be.
Yeah.
Has that worked? Has it?
Sometimes.
It hasn't. know in the moment you might think that you have a sense of order in a moment, and so you're equating that with that toughness is working, but it's never worked. It's never worked. Your child told me that her father didn't claim her. The little girl was coming home and realized that her dad didn't
And her
claim
father was never in nothing.
That's what I'm saying to you. Hold on. I'm about to get there. When the little girl was coming home and her father was not there and not claiming her, and she knew it. So I want you to imagine a little girl being told that my father don't want me. Now you're doing the best you can, and you're trying to be the best. She said it was just y'all two. But now my only parent that I have starts dating and doing things, which you're allowed to do. You're allowed to do. But now I'm feeling already abandoned and alone. And now the one parent I got is moving on with their lives, and I'm sure because most of us as parents don't feel like we have to have open communication with our kids about who we date and what we're doing.
Right.
But when it comes to abandonment, we actually do. And as a child, if nobody wants me, what am I going to do? I'm going to say I'm leaving. It's not about like, oh, I want to show you. It's because those are telling you I don't feel secure. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure.
So if she's constantly doing this, what am I supposed to do?
Love her. Which is hear me out. Which is why my first question to you was, the tough love, has it worked? And the answer is no. So if the toughness and the hardness hasn't worked, then you got to try the opposite. When she comes back out here, I want you to say, I know you don't want this life, and I'm sorry that this has been your life. I'm sorry that this has been happening. And I love you, and I'm not going to judge you no more for anything that happened. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, I can.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
You got this. You love her. You love her. Okay.
Mentioned USAID is representing American ideas in action. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you believe that spending over $3 million for being LGBTQ in the Caribbean is a reflection of American ideas in action?
I believe that the programs that are focused on global health,
just yes or no is fine. Yes or no will
the programs that in global health and food security and economic growth.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about being LGBTQ in the Caribbean. Is that a reflection of American values? Yes or no?
I believe the programs that you're referring to are a reflection of.
I'll take that as a yes. What about spending $70,000 for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland? Is that a reflection of American ideas in action? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. Do you think that spending $2 million for sex changes and LGBTQ activism in Guatemala is a reflection of American values?
The information that you are using is
yes
so
no?
faulty that it doesn't.
It's a yes or no question.
USAID project.
No, that is a direct description of what we're spending our tax dollars. Do you think that sex changes and LGBTQ activism in Guatemala is an accurate reflection of American values abroad?
The gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gill, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you so much for holding this hearing today. We've heard throughout this hearing a bit more of the same shrill calumny against President Trump and Elon Musk that we've been hearing for months now. But I am happy that a few of our colleagues did concede that we need more oversight and auditing of our foreign aid. I'd like to remind them that every time Republicans try to do that and audit where government money is going, they try to stonewall us. So I hope that they will get on board with protecting the American taxpayer. I think as it relates to foreign aid, to the extent that we do engage in foreign aid, it of course should advance American strategic geopolitical interests, our commercial interests, and of course should help ameliorate major humanitarian crises. But it ought to be rooted in realism, which is a recognition that we have strategic interests abroad that we ought to advance. And it ought to be rooted in a rational conception of the way the world actually is, and not the way that some leftist secular bureaucrat at USAID believes the world should be. I think that forcing transgenderism and novel sexual fetishes on more traditional cultures does not advance American interests. It alienates the United States on the world stage. We've also seen USAID money going to oppose many of our allies abroad. Madam Chair gave a few examples, and I'll give a few more here. We've seen USAID money funding efforts to influence elections in India against Prime Minister Modi. We've seen our ally Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban accusing USAID of funding left-wing media outlets that are opposing him. We've seen USAID give $12.5 million just last year to the American Near East Refugee Agency, whose staff openly called for violence against Jews. The refugee agency also funded projects of the Unlimited Friends Association, which is a proxy organization for Hamas. This is not advancing our strategic interests abroad, and these are not promoting American values. Mr. Unger, I've got a couple of questions for you. Over $3 million for being LGBTQ in the Caribbean is a reflection of American ideas in action?
I believe that the programs that are focused on global health...
Just yes or no?
You're of Florida for 5 minutes.
I actually appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Mr. Dodaro, it's good to see you again. Thanks for being back. Since 2003, federal agencies have reported about $2.8 trillion in improper payments, including over the last 7 years consecutively, at a minimum, $150 billion in each one of those years. The high-risk report mentions that the Department of Agriculture, HHS, HUD, DHS, OPM, and SBA all failed to report improper payment estimates in FY 2023. And to reiterate for the American people, we have 7 agencies of the federal government that have not reported on their improper payments. And if memory serves, the last report GAO issued had improper payments north of $240 billion that was reported. What are some of the real issues within the federal government for the lack of ability for these agencies to report on improper payments within their purview?
I think there needs to be more pressure put on those agencies by the administrations that are in place. And I've talked to the prior administrations about this. And Congress needs to demand that the law be followed and they do improper payment estimates. I mean, I think it's not good management to not know how much you're paying that you shouldn't be paying. It's not good fiscal stewardship. So I'm very disappointed they're not reporting, and I would encourage the Congress and the Trump administration to require the reporting now.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Let me answer the question. The agencies that didn't report, some of them vary in size. Obviously, Department of Homeland Security is a major department of the federal government. Right. considering that, let's just say for estimate's sake, I don't have the report in front of me, that in fiscal year of 23, improper payments were $250 billion. If we had the estimates of those 7 departments, what do you think the actual outstanding was from 2023?
Yeah, I really can't hesitate to guess. The one thing Congress needs to do in this area, though, the temporary assistance for needy families, they believe, HHS, they can't make an estimate unless Congress changes the law. So they refuse to do it, saying they don't have the legal authority to require the states to give them the information they need in order to make an improper payment estimate. So Congress needs to change the statute there, and I think that's important.
All right, thank you. FEMA's currently managing over 600 major disaster declarations, some of which have occurred 20 years ago. One of the GAO recommendations is in this year's high-risk report is that FEMA should identify and document lessons learned related to estimating obligations for catastrophic disasters. Can you expand upon this?
Yeah, I'll ask Mr. Curry's our expert.
Sure. Mr. Curry.
Sure. FEMA's always struggled with this because they don't know how much they're going to need in a particular year. And then when you have a catastrophic disaster season like you had last year in your home state with Helene and Milton, that throws everything off. But COVID really threw this off because FEMA did not expect to spend what it spent on COVID. At the end of this year, it's going to have spent well north of $150 billion on COVID. And what that's done is it's sort of thrown all the estimates off. It's gone up over time, which affects their estimates moving forward. And they've spent way more than they thought they were going to have to spend on that. And that's one of the reasons the Disaster Relief Fund is in this constant negative situation. It's supposed to be, actually it's going to be $12 billion underwater already at the end of September, even after the supplemental appropriation that you all provided it late last year. So FEMA's
not to cut you off, but to go down this line of that we're talking about, is FEMA still having to make payments out associated with COVID-19?
Absolutely, they're still making payments.
Do you have an estimate of how much FEMA is still appropriating out because of COVID-19?
Well, last time I checked, which was at the end of February, they were upwards of $130 billion they'd have paid out, and they expect to spend over $150 billion at the end of fiscal year. They also told us they expect the disaster to run through the end of FY26 next year and spend almost $180 billion on that. So they're still reimbursing state and local governments for that.
Okay, so they're expected to spend another $180 billion reimbursing state and local governments for COVID-19, and that's a stretch?
Sorry, another $50 billion.
Oh, another $50 billion to take it to $180 billion.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm out of my time. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Tadar.
Two darkest secrets that she's never shared with anybody. You know, she cried and she opened up to me. At that point, I was like, okay, like, this is real. Like, this is not a game. This is not a joke. And she even looked at me in my eyes and she's like, Angel, like, I'm not playing games with you. Like, this ain't no fun. Like, I'm really falling for you. When I realized how intimate we were getting and how close we were getting, I was just like, okay, like, I gotta be upfront with her. I had just let her know, I was like, yo, look, you know, I'm in here as an undercover inmate.
Do you understand how serious this is?
Yeah, kind of.
This is actually really serious.
Yeah.
Because it's not about Gabrielle and your relationship, but it's about how that can get out. You might trust Gabrielle, but things get out and feelings change.
Yeah. I just know she's not gonna do it.
You hope that
she's not gonna do it. Yeah. I know she's not gonna do it. That's how close and intimate we are.
What does she know about the program?
All she knows is that I'm in here as an undercover inmate and that I'm supposed to be exposing the, like, grimy that's going on within the facilities. That's it. She thinks I'm the only one.
Could you tell me why you had to tell Gabrielle?
Because I knew I was going to fall in love with her. And I knew she was going to fall in love with me. And I didn't want to break her heart when this aired.
There's us that are still going to be in there. There's Stephanie that's in there.
Okay.
I definitely have to talk about this with people.
Okay. Am I going to get kicked out the program?
I don't know. My job is to ask questions. This is a really serious issue.
Yeah.
You understand the risk right now,
yeah.
But there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Be safe. Please don't say anything. Obviously. Let's just all we'll go to the next step. Okay?
Yeah.
scary spot that you're in. Be safe.
My whole body immediately went in shock. I literally was shaking. Why the would you tell somebody that? Could you be that dumb? I thought Angel was very stupid to do that. If I could find another word right now for stupid, I would. Without a shadow of a doubt, Angel was a fool to trust any inmate. I was worried about now who's going to suspect me of being a plant, because I hung out with Angel a lot. We walked together, we talked together, we talked about things in the program.
You may start your conversation now.
Hello? Hey, just got some news just now, so yeah, I can't really, I mean, you don't want to talk about it? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a real big deal. Swim up for you? Yeah.
People are not stupid by any means. Angel put everyone at risk. Everyone who works on this program, she put everyone at risk. We are in a cell with gang members who love to fight. I'm in a lot of danger right now because they're going to be very, very suspicious of who I am.
My heart is like racing. I cannot wait to get out of here.
She failed as a participant. Angel put everything at risk. Gabby suspects me, but I'm trying to stir things in a different direction so she doesn't. It's a lot.
We have a situation.
Right.
It pertains to Anjali. Anjali basically admitted in an interview to us that she has told her girlfriend, Gabby, what the true nature is of her purpose here. She's basically blown her cover.
On purpose.
Yeah. She is in love, and she felt like she had to be honest with Gabby.
People frequently come to jail and find whatever it is that they're missing out in the free world, and that's what's happened here with Anjali.
From what we understand, she's not mentioned the name of the show that we know of. She's just said that she's a plant. She's told Gabby that she's here gathering information for the facility.
My concern is what we've invested in the program to get what we intended to get, and we're not going to get that full product.
Well, this is where we want to talk through, how do you handle this, right?
I think leaving her in, it will be counterproductive now at this point. She's got to go. There's no way she can stay in this program now.
All right, Angel, want to do an interview? All right, let's go. All right, ladies, we'll see you in a second.
to have a talk with you. I think you know why we need to have a talk, don't you?
Yeah, I already know.
Why do you think we need to have a talk?
Because I already know.
Y'all ready now?
I know.
Let me start off. I'm going to be very direct with you. I think, we owe it to you at least to be direct so that you don't have any expectations. But we think that this relationship that you're involved in, and, out in the world, I don't care what you do. But in here, you're my undercover operative. Do you understand that? You're almost like an employee of the sheriff's office. So you can't be in a relationship with an inmate, even a consensual.
So exactly, how did you put it out there to her?
I was like, yo, I have something to tell you, and I don't want you to feel betrayed by me. And I saw her jaw, like her gut just get that like queasy feeling, like what the is it that you have to tell me? And I was like, I am working as an I'm working undercover for the warden to expose the that's going on inside this facility.
I don't think you fully understand the consequences of what's going on here. There are other participants that are in that pod. And frankly, your actions have put everyone in serious danger. So what I'm going to tell you right now, so that you're not left, dangling and wondering what in the world's going on, we're going to end your participation in this project. You're done as of right now. Do you have any questions of us?
Would you have done anything differently? Do you have any regrets to the decision you made? I didn't think you did.
Sure don't.
Okay.
Did the consequences of that decision, as far as the purpose of you being undercover, the safety of other participants, or the safety of the production crew, did any of that occur to you at the time?
Do I feel like I jeopardize them in any kind of way? No, because they're inside this jail filming this show. Therefore, they're jeopardizing themselves anyway.
I served in the United States Marine Corps. I commanded the sheriff's office SWAT team. And I never told an undercover of mine that said it's all right to tell one person you're undercover so long as you don't tell anyone else you're undercover. It doesn't work that way. You're undercover all the way.
To make it very, very clear, people do not know this is 60 days in. Gabrielle does not know this is 60 days, and she thinks that I'm working for the warden. Just to make that real clear. I never mentioned anything about another participant. I only said that it was me. Okay, I'm not that damn dumb. So I never even mentioned anything about Stephanie. She doesn't have the slightest clue about Stephanie.
One of the things I want you to think about is, why did I blow this? Not only did you go full on inmate, but you seem to have said at some point, to get what this is about, I'm going to do what I want to do. So it might sound a little harsh, but yeah, you blew it, and I want to know why.
What me and Gabrielle has is real. And if we end up together, I have no regrets about this experience. This experience was beautiful.
And before I forget, are you moving to Atlanta?
No.
Anyone moving?
She's gonna move. If she can't, then I'd possibly come to Atlanta.
This is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
You're gonna be released into the custody of the production crew. You're not going back to the main jail.
Why not? I don't have to do the whole...
So when you don't remember already, when I said your participation in this project is over as of this moment, that's what I meant. It's over.
Okay.
This situation with Angela is definitely unprecedented and needs to be handled in a unique manner. Angela blowing her cover has really placed all the other participants at risk of being identified. If word gets out that we have undercover participants in the Fulton County Jail, it puts the participants at risk of being dealt with in a violent manner. Due to the nature of this breach, Angela is going to be removed from the jail. She's going to be taken straight to a hotel room where she will not be able to make phone calls or talk to anyone, and her activities will be monitored.
I found love in a dark place. It was real. It wasn't a facade. It's hard to find genuine love. So when I captured that, I told myself I was going to hold on to it. And I felt that if I didn't tell her that I was going to be like betraying her in the end, I told myself I'd rather lose all of this and have her than to have all of this and lose her. The decision to tell Gabby, the decision to be with Gabrielle, I knew it was no turning back. I knew it. I guess people could be like, oh my God, love is so blind. But I mean, I trust her. I don't feel that it put the program at risk. She doesn't know about Stephanie.
All right. You are free to the world.
I'm just not worried. I don't know. I genuinely trust Gabrielle. I genuinely trust Gabrielle.
Angela has been placed into the custody of the production crew, where she will face the repercussions of her actions.
So, clearly it was a violation of contract too. However, we'd like to offer the opportunity to cure the breach. Okay. The terms of that, however, would be a sequestration. It's basically staying inside and away from contacts, friends, family.
So pretty much for the next 2.5 weeks, I can't contact like my mom or nobody. Just pretty much as if I'm still incarcerated.
Yes. Okay. Basically, be pretending that you're still in, so that we don't jeopardize anyone who is still in.
Okay.
Particularly Stephanie, who, we're monitoring like what's going on in that unit right now.
Yeah.
To understand whether there's like chatter, and they're going to try and figure out, okay, was somebody else here? But then also, news always travels. We have multiple folks at the other facility as well.
If she wanted to say something, she would have been said something by now.
Really, at the end of the day, and everybody here knows this, we care more about your safety than we do about the show.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
So we would put you up in a hotel. These 2 paragraphs reference the sequestration.
So do I have to sign it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta sign my real name.
Yeah.
It is absolutely necessary for Angela to be sequestered and cut off from the outside world so that we preserve the security of this program. We cannot risk Angela trying to get in contact with Gabrielle for any reason. That means for Angela, she cannot have any phones or access to a computer for the duration of the program. Now that Angela has been processed out of the jail, she's in the custody of the production crew, where she will be monitored for 24 hours a day until the end of the program.
You guys might be looking at it, she blew her cover, but she's really important to me. I mean, she's all I'm thinking about right now. That's what's so crazy, She's a phenomenal woman, and, I think that's the issue is, like, people look at these inmates and they're just like, oh, they're inmates, but, like, a lot of those women are really good people, they just up. I really care about Gabrielle, and it just sucks right now because I really wish I could have told her goodbye. That's the only thing that honestly sucks right now. I admitted to what I did. I wasn't gonna lie about it. I admitted to it, and now I'm dealing with repercussions. And I really, really genuinely do love her, and this is one hell of a love story that just came out of this whole situation. Love is really hard to find, especially when that is just comes naturally. And I've never had too much love in my life. So I hold on to the little that I get. That's for damn sure. Still be in jail. I mean, do I think like, man, I probably shouldn't have said anything to her? I mean, that crosses my mind, but it doesn't stick. Like, having found love in such a dark place, I can never regret that. You know, I can never regret that. You know, I grew up in a very violent household, where it's just really all about tough love and, you know, not any kind of like nurturing. The only little nurture that I got was from my mom. So to have had that with inside these walls, I wouldn't take anything back, you know. I just wish I could have said goodbye. I don't know. I was able to open up with these women. These women were able to open up with me. I definitely feel like I accomplished something in there.
Yeah, stupidity.
As far as, you know, what I said, you know, I told him, I was like, you know, I never said anything about 60 Days In. Like, I never said that, oh, I'm on a 60 Days In TV show and this is what.
You recognize it's not just the show name, though? That it goes beyond?
It goes, like, with the whole, I don't know, what?
The safety of the other participants in there, that it's not the show name that is that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that you were undercover, that there's plants in there that you like. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, I mean, I recognize that, but at the same time, I never exposed any of that. But, you know, I hope that, you know, they don't find any kind of like leads onto Stephanie, which I don't understand how they would be able to do that. Yeah,
and not even just Stephanie.
Yeah, about the camera crew and everybody.
What about the men's facility?
The male, what do you mean the men's facility? As far as what?
Word travels in jail.
I just, like I said, I don't know. We're gonna see how this unfolds. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna see how it unfolds.
Everything that we know is not the truth.
My life is definitely in danger. Angel should have known. Who was always walking with you? Me. Who was always talking to you? Me.
Yeah.
Now I'm the number one target. Somebody's gonna be dead in this pod.
Although Angela blew her cover, I still want to meet with her because she has valuable information about the jail.
Well, hello there.
How you doing?
Good?
Hey, how you?
Good.
So we removed you from the program because you got, you know, intimately involved with a fellow cellmate, and we felt that that would jeopardize the security of the program on so many different levels. But now you're in the middle of a situation that could become volatile. I mean, do you see that possibility?
No.
That didn't occur to you?
No, it didn't.
Our concern is, as an agent of ours, there's just certain things you can't do.
The thing is, I knew what I was doing, and I am no different from a lot of those women and what they've been through, what they experienced. You know what I'm saying? I am no different from any of those women. So do I regret making these connections? Do I feel as if, yeah, consequences or something might come? Yeah, they might come, but guess what? I'ma own it.
Did you ever just think about any sexually transmitted diseases that any of the other inmates could have had? Were you aware and were you willing to take the risk that came along with it?
Yeah.
Your behavior, do you think that it was acceptable behavior? But you did everything you chose to do?
I became an inmate.
As far as you're concerned, you're more inmate than participant at that point.
Yes, I fell in as an inmate. And that's why I was able to honestly connect with a lot of the women that I connected to.
Do you think that Gabby will continue to keep the secret that you shared with her?
Whatever happens, happens. Like, you know, and I'm, you know, ready to deal with whatever gets thrown my way.
I've just been informed that Gabby has talked to other inmates. She's talked to MJ about you being an undercover, so to speak. She's also talked to several other people.
Basically, everybody that was in there now.
I can't believe that. There's no way. She never mentioned anything
on video.
about...
They're talking about it. It's on video.
We've been advised. I'll just say that to you. We've been advised.
Now, Stephanie, who was in there with you, she's a target now. Your actions have put everyone in serious danger. Before anybody gets hurt, I think you know what I'm going to have to do now, and that is shut down the whole thing. The program is done. We're going to get Stephanie out for her safety, and we're going to end this before anybody gets hurt.
You have a message.
I mean, the act is done at this point. I can't. Yeah. Okay. I mean.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
I tell y'all, I got a story out of this.
Absolutely.
So I got what I wanted. So yeah. All right.
Collected all the data should be finished. Hey, Mom. You haven't gotten a phone call or text or voicemail from anybody. Okay. Do you have a pen and paper in your hand? I just want you to just try to three-way a phone number for me. 5. Her name's Angel. Just try. You can say, hey, it's Gabrielle's mom. Just try the three-way though. I don't think so. Okay.
Be living here for a year. Being out back in civilian world is a weird feeling. I'm not joking about that. Like, you guys don't understand how much I still feel like an inmate. But I honestly do believe I'm gonna end up with Gabrielle.
When do you think you'll talk to her again?
When this is done, she's gonna be the first person that I call.
Well, then just hang up. That's cool. Did it ring all the way through or was it straight to voicemail?
She didn't ride with you?
Somebody that I met in reference to just some rehab information and like future job information, but she left. So I just really she left while I was gone. Yeah, So,
what do you think she'll say when you tell her what happened?
You know, I just let her know that I'm sorry for putting her through everything. Because just as much as my feelings are involved, I know her feelings are involved. You know, and sometimes I could be selfish, clearly, but sometimes it leads me into these kind of situations. Which this isn't like the first time. I always tend to learn like the hard way. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Like, even with Gabrielle, I hope we just work things out. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, no big deal. Alright, love you too. Bye.
Yeah. I really do believe that with Gabrielle, we truly found real love. She even said, like, I vow to have my heart wait for you. As soon as I get access, I'm gonna call her mom to see how she is. I really do wish that I could have stayed the whole time. And I think what upsets me is that I got distracted. But I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect. You know, I f***ed up and I made a mistake. And now I have to live with it. It just sucks that I gave up my identity.
Welcome to 60 Days In, the after.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to hear that.
We can have a conversation. So again, y'all don't feel about 271. Once again, corruption at its best. Corruption at its best. Corruption at its best. The chief of police here in Riverdale doing what Jackson tell him to do.
Okay, so I guess you guys can hear it. That is Michael Dot Smith. Just let you know, this should be a conversation. I don't think this should be such a contentious situation. It seemed really odd when I saw the video yesterday, but let's continue.
This is corruption at its best. Corruption at its best. We need the state's attorney to get involved and file charges. We need the state's attorney to come file charges. We need the state's attorney. You won't get yourself in trouble, man. Let me feed Riverdale, man, and let them go. You're gonna get fired. I just want to feed them and let them go. I just want to feed them and let them go. I just want to feed them and let them go. I ain't trying to start nothing. I'm not sorry. I just want to feed them and let them go. County sheriff. Break them up. We ain't breaking them up. You is. Because you in this park and you don't have jurisdiction. I got it. You know I got it. I really see when you call me, I wouldn't have got it. Well, you know how jurisdiction in this park. He get you in trouble, man. He get you in trouble. Several DUI. Several DUI. Several DUI. I wouldn't cover myself. I want to know if I cover myself. I cover myself. Several DUI. Several DUI. Several DUI. And we gonna put it in the community. We're gonna put it in the community. Because you know sister talking. Hey, don't waste your time. I ain't trying to argue with you. Yes, you are. I never did with you. You trying to get me in front of people and make me look bad. I called you and asked you to do the proper thing. Why would I have to do that though? Then you don't have. You believe you don't have to. You don't have to. I don't need that. Don't need that permit. Y'all don't do this. You don't believe it. You don't have. This is separate. This is separate. I had to hurry up and call to get to know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't have. You telling me I should issue citation? You can't. You don't have.
Actually, that's a good point, succeeding into. Appreciated that. Okay. It's not a business because he's giving away the food. I don't know. So he's giving away, he's doing something charitable. Why this is even an argument in the first place? Like, why is this even such a emotional, like aggressive situation? I'm trying to understand this. So when Michael feels like, and I'm talking about Earhart, not Dots, that he thinks it's some kind of retaliation. He ran against Jackson, lost the election. So what's the point? What's the point here? Yeah, so the chief has 70 DUIs. I'm not sure about that. But in my opinion, I'm not in that area. If it's possible that Michael Earhart may have lost because of his association with Dots, it's possible. I mean, I definitely talked about it in the video. But this just seems a bit silly. The optics is really bad. What's the issue? It must be personal, right? That's my opinion, just by checking this video out.
Had nothing to do with this part. It's right here. And you gonna get yourself in trouble. Come on, man. I'll finish up. I'm trying to be reasonable. That's not reasonable. You shut me down because he told you to. I'm just feeding the people that they called me and asked me for food. Riverdale asked me for food. That's all I did was come out here to get them food. That's it. You don't have jurisdiction. You don't have to speak. You don't have to speak your English. You don't. You can ask you why you didn't just get the permit like you was at me, man, when you pulled up. We're done this. All I'm telling you is that's wrong. I didn't come to start nothing. I just want to feed the people. That's it. And I'm leaving. But you don't run this up the park at all. You can't do that here. You can't. You can't. Well, we both gonna go to court, right? Go on right quick. Don't mess up with that. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I don't want no problems. I never caused Riverdale problems ever. I never caused no problems because I can't.
Think again. They're having a full-blown political apocalypse
Honestly, it's like watching a toilet full of woke policies, lies, and failed leadership overflow all over the floor. Except instead of grabbing a mop, they just keep flushing. And just when they thought they could crawl out of the mess, Trump came in, kicked the door down, and dropped the truth bomb. Biden's little auto pen party. Yeah, he says they're void, gone, null, they're done. And the left is losing its collective mind. We're going to talk about all of that and more next. Good. All right, Shelly, good to see you, as always. Yes. All right. See, we already have some comments. Mary says, love the hoodie. You ladies are great. Patriots love listening. God bless. God bless you, Mary. And again, you can go to our website into this. So MSNBC went off the rails recently. I think it was actually Saturday night. Saturday's edition of MSNBC's The Weekend, absolutely, they tore into Chuck Schumer for orchestrating the support of a sufficient number of his fellow Democrat senators to support the continuing resolution and avoid a government shutdown. Folks, they are pissed. Take a look. This is clip one.
Republicans thinking right now about their ability to absolutely punk Schumer into making this move the way he did when he knew that that's not what his party.
You have a message.
I think that, the reality here is there was no message, no strategy, and at the end of the day, no leadership. And this is really a black mark, I think, on Chuck Schumer. And I think this is a real black mark, a stain on Chuck Schumer's leadership. Yep. And I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent. There's not another option for Senate or Democratic or Senate Democrats or House Democrats to effectively push back. This was it. They blew it. The Democratic Tea Party was born the same day that Chuck Schumer took to that podium to read that very well-crafted statement that told us he folded like a paper napkin.
Well, and that's why you have members of the Democratic caucus privately encouraging Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to primary Schumer.
Anyone can primary him.
So on that point, which was very well stated, I might add.
Well, I think this is an absolute disaster. One, because of what it signals to Republicans, that there's a willingness to cave, that there's a desire to cave when you're not getting anything out of it.
Let me tell you what I think about that. They are like this egg. You crack it, and then you have to scramble it. That's what their brains and minds are doing. They're all scrambled right now. And I know eggs are a little bit pricey, so I'm wasting one on these jokers tonight. But that's what they feel like. They feel like they're all over the place. Remember what, two or 4 years ago during the midterms when Republicans outside, we were all over the place because we didn't win the midterms like we thought we had or we thought we would. And we had to kind of
Oh, she froze. So we'll get back to Shelley.
We expanded the tent, if you will. With President Trump. This administration is proof that we got our act together enough to win the White House, the Senate, the House, and all of these, these
on the Samsung, who's not dressed appropriately for court and appears not to have a shirt on? Yeah. All right, so they will not be given a victim impact if that is the person. All right, and then there's someone on by the name of Bachelor Santabanas. All right, so then Samsung appears to be yours, so that person will not be given a victim impact.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think everyone should know that you have to have clothes on in court. Well, he's at the end of the pile. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 3848, State of Texas versus Michaela Elise Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Patrick Hancock for the defendant.
All right, and are you Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest to robbery on December 4th. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. The state is opposing your application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. They're taking certain items into consideration. All right. Did you all have a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, sir.
Defense?
I did, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No.
Defense?
No, ma'am.
Great. State, any witness? Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. If you can state your name for the record.
Alicia Franklin.
All right, defense.
Ms. Franklin, good morning.
Good morning.
You and I have spent a lot of time together regarding Michaela, is that correct?
Correct.
And you are aware that Michaela has accepted responsibility for a robbery here in Burke County?
Correct.
And today is the day that the judge can either send her to prison or entertain her application for probation or deferred adjudication.
Correct.
Ms. Franklin, let me just ask you, how old is Michaela?
As of now, she is 18. When the case started, she was 17.
And when did she turn 18?
November 3rd.
And where is she a student at?
At Roosevelt High School.
What grade is she in?
She's a senior.
And being in Roosevelt High School, has she made future plans, applied to universities, or done anything at this point in her senior year?
Yes, she was accepted to UTSA, and we're pending.
Excuse me. Please whisper.
Say it again now.
She was accepted to UTSA, and we're pending the application for Clark Atlanta University.
Very good. And how is she doing in school?
She's doing good. She's on my honor roll. Right now she has all A's and perfect attendance since she's been out.
And did Michaela request a letter from one of her school counselors to offer to the court today?
She did.
Well, I tendered this to the state for their review. At some point, we'd like you to look at that, Judge.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing this? All right, you may continue.
Ms. Franklin, with regard to that letter, is it a positive review of how Michaela's doing at Roosevelt High School right now?
It is. Michaela's right now, since her release, she's at the best she's ever been. She's focused, she's serious about furthering her future for college, and she's on the right path.
Oh, what a heartwarming tale. An honor roll student with perfect attendance who just happened to stumble into a robbery like it was an extracurricular activity. College applications pending? Fantastic. Maybe they offer a degree in life choices. And let's not forget the touching transformation since her release, because nothing says I've learned my lesson like a courtroom begging session. But sure, let's just ignore the crime and hand out scholarships instead of sentences.
I'd like to take you back to, I guess, the time around this offense. And before I do that, I want to ask you, are you a single mom?
I am.
Does Michaela have a father in her life who's active? Or?
He's not active, not consistently.
And does she have any siblings?
She does. She has a brother and a sister from her father.
But living in your household is
no, just me and Michaela.
I want to take you back to around the time of the offense. Do you remember getting a call that Michaela had been locked up for some very serious offenses?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell the court what your response was?
That she needed to sit there. I left her in there. She needed to understand what she had done and take responsibility. I left her in there for 5 months before I bonded her out, so she could understand that she didn't do anything, it wasn't something small. She needed to understand exactly what she did and what she could look forward to. She needed to know what prison or their county was, what jail was.
And do you think those 5 months had a significant impact in her life?
Most definitely. I know for a fact she doesn't want to go back. She definitely has a true meaning of what jail is.
And was that your goal at that time?
That's definitely was my goal, because I could have bonded her out the same day or the next day. I mean, I could have got the financial means to get her out. So it was definitely my goal for her to learn her lesson, and hopefully we don't ever have to revisit this again, which I don't think we will. I honestly think that she didn't learn her lesson.
Miss Franklin, let me ask you, at the time when she was arrested, were there some behavioral problems that you picked up on?
Yeah, there was, but I thought she was just being a rebellious teenager. I didn't realize she was like depressed and had low self-esteem until she had suicidal thoughts. I took her to Little Ridge, but they let her out and she did a little counseling here and there. So I thought she was just being more rebellious to herself. I honestly didn't know it was mental health issues there, but once I did know, I've gotten her help.
What mental health issues have you discovered regarding the treatment?
Definitely depression, low self-esteem. We've been going through exercises with the counseling sessions. And me, myself, is trying to boost her up and get on the right path to feel good about herself.
And do you think you're on a positive path right now?
Most definitely, yeah.
She's back living at home?
She lives at home. Our relationship is really good. She's more open. We actually have conversations about how she's feeling. I think we're on a really good path.
And that's different than what it was before the...
Most definitely. She would stay to herself more, lock herself up in her room. Just for me, what I thought was normal teenage stuff, but evidently it was a little deeper than that.
Ms. Franklin, you own the business. Would you tell the judge what you do for a
I do. I'm in Sugar Salon, a hair salon in San Antonio.
And have you and Michaela talked about her interest in working in the salon?
Yes. Actually, before this, she did. She was my assistant. And to be honest, I need her back as an assistant, but she wants to be a barber and to get her through college. It'll be something for her to fall back on. And I can, I'm also an instructor, so she can get some of her hours through me.
Oh, what a redemption arc. 5 months in jail, and suddenly we have a reformed honor roll student with career goals. How convenient. A rebellious teen turns out to have deep-seated issues only after getting caught. And now it's all about mental health, depression, and self-esteem. If only that robbery had been a self-help seminar instead. But sure, let's all pretend this is a heartwarming comeback story instead of a courtroom sentencing.
You mentioned that she's been accepted to UTSA.
Yes, she's been accepted to UTSA, but she's also, we're pending the application for Clark Atlanta, which she preferably would want to go.
And what would be her interest in studying college?
Business marketing.
So you left her in jail for 5 months, and now she's been on pre-trial release as a condition of her bond.
Correct.
I know we had one GPS circumstance that we had to take up with the court, but other than that issue that was straightened out here in the courtroom, do you think she's been compliant with all the rules?
Yes, she's been compliant, and I also make sure she's compliant. I mean, we get home on time, way before time. We don't take no shortcuts. So yeah, she's definitely compliant.
I know that today we've had the opportunity, the three of us, you, me, and Michaela, to go through the pre-sentence report. You can see there are some pretty raw feelings on the part of the listed complainant.
Yes.
Can you tell me if you think, even before today, do you think Michaela recognizes just how serious this offense was and the fear that people were placed in and the after effects of that fear.
Yeah, she definitely recognizes that. She's definitely voiced how remorseful she is for this. I know for Christmas we did, she wasn't able to actually go to the battered women's shelter, but she...
Here in the courtroom today is that she has a taste of incarceration. And I think she's come out of jail, Judge, and the letter from the Roosevelt High School from Ms. Howard says she's really doing well in school. It's hard for me to believe she's 17 years old when I met her and charged with such a serious crime, and she's turned 18 and she's only 3 months into her 18th year. So, Judge, it's one of those things. She's got a bright future. She's got hopefully acceptance into a school in Atlanta. She's been accepted to UTSA. Those letters, in my opinion, Judge, from Roosevelt High School, those are hard letters to get for the defense. And that's a really fine letter that supports Michaela in her application for probation. I don't want the court to think that she's...
Oh, what a delightful display of mental gymnastics. So she wasn't the leader, just a casual participant?
Figure out what to do with Michaela. Again, Judge, deferred adjudication on second-degree felony is quite a good thing. I mean, we all know that
one of the boys threatened to shoot her if she stopped. Nowhere is that brought up in the report that she had mentioned that she had said that they had threatened her. So that's just something that is...
Well, I don't think it's... I mean, it's her feeling, so it's not going to be in a police report. Right, but I can tell you that was her feeling on this. She did feel threatened by these two young juvenile offenders. But we're here today to take responsibility and not make excuses. So that's our answer to that, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else before the court makes its ruling? All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty, taking consideration 2023 CR 3850, 2023 CR 3849, grand jury number 806632. There's to be restitution of $110 to John Bright in grand jury number 806632. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to retain jurisdiction. Your attorney will tell you what that means, and I'm going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Did you review what it's entitled trial court certification with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need...
the classic last-ditch effort. She felt threatened. Funny how that detail magically appears after everything else has crumbled. But hey, at least we got the golden line. We're here to take responsibility and not make excuses. Right after making excuses. The judge saw through the performance, handed down the sentence, and now it's 6 years of hard reality.